All right. Welcome, everybody, to 2020, where we have a vision for great things to come. Right, Matt? All right. Welcome to Ava's Casual Chat. We are here at hamiltonradio.net. So you can find us there. You can find us on Facebook, on my page, personal page, Ava Holly Lewis Korth. You can find us on Diane Metivier's page, Marco Pantin, and Polixeni Katsaros.
Yes,
correct?
Absolutely.
All right. Welcome, welcome. It's so nice to have everybody. First show of the new year, and we got Teens with Dreams coming up right after this show. So I want to talk about the new year first off before we get into anything else. So what did everybody do for New Year's? I know you were at church, right? So what do you guys do at church? Do you have food? Did you bring in the new year?
People at church, we all bring food together. And we share until it's 12.
And 12, and then you just celebrate, ring it in the new year, right? And what did you guys do? Were you up, Matthew? Did you watch a ball fall?
Yeah, we were just spending time with family, and we were there until like 11. And when we were like leaving home, it was like midnight by then.
Cool.
Well, we didn't get to see the ball drop.
You didn't see it drop? Why not?
Because we were at a family.
Oh, they didn't put it on? They didn't have it on? Oh, thank you, Ruben. And a wave to everybody. Hey, Ruben. And so,
Hey, Ruben.
Yeah, we saw fireworks.
Fireworks, cool.
We all love you. We love you.
Love you, Ruben. Thank you. Polixeni, what did you do for New Year's? Anything exciting?
The actual day?
New Year's Eve.
Oh, Eve. Spent with some good friends.
Yeah. Did you
Yeah.
get to watch the ball fall?
Oh,
no?
absolutely.
Yeah,
we
that
turned
was
it
cool.
on with like 10 minutes to go.
Yeah, nice.
And then it was like the countdown before you knew it. And oh my God, it was wonderful.
Yeah, I was ready to say goodbye to 2019. We were out with some friends too, watching the ball
2019
fall,
was
and
rough.
the end of 2019 was rough. So we're moving into 2020 with a clear vision, right?
Absolutely.
What's some of our goals? Polixeni, what are you looking to do in 2020?
Wow. I want one of my biggest goals is to have my book in all the schools.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, we're working with another author that we're putting books in schools with. So that's
Yeah.
a little tricky to do, but it can be done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I heard is the best way to go about it is to talk to the superintendents, not to the individual school systems, but
Right.
go to the actual school board meetings.
And I think there's different, like in New York, it's a different process. In
Is
New
that right?
Jersey might be a different
Oh.
process. So you might want to look online and see about, the Board of Education and
I've
that
been
kind of-
following some advice from teachers.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
that's the
they
best thing to
seem
do in that.
know, you know.
Yeah, that's cool.
good.
Awesome, awesome. And Diane, what about you? What are you looking? What do you want to do in 2020?
I have a couple of goals actually. One is to really get Matt's Harquest on the map and really get some good traction.
Good. We'll talk about that in a little
Yeah,
bit.
which we'll talk about that. The other thing is just really growing my own individual financial planning practice.
Good, good.
And just increasing quality of time and living life to the fullest. Really, thriving is really my word for the year.
Thriving. Do you have a goal, Mr. Matt?
Yeah. One big goal is to get Matt's Heartquest up to $1 million.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that goal and see if it can happen in 2020. We have Souls for Souls with the boy that's doing the shoes, and he's already got up over that goal, so it's possible to get it done. You have to just, focus on the things you want to do to accomplish that, right? Marco, what about you? What's your goal for 2020?
A lot of things.
I'm hearing. Never mind. It might be my phone. Sorry.
Okay.
Are we all going crazy now?
Yeah,
It was
it's.
I was hearing Matt talk, and then you talk. So
Oh, if you put your phone on silent, it'd probably
Very
be.
good.
You're probably getting some
thank
feedback.
you very much.
Yeah,
Thank
that
you.
might be
Or
it.
delay is what I'm
Yes,
looking to
that's
say.
it.
So, Marco, what's your big goal for 2020? Anything in just in general? I know it's early in the year yet.
I want to grow my business
Yeah. Well, that's
and-
always a good goal.
and keep helping people.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I love. Is helping people, giving back to the community, and just doing what I love.
Well, mine is not the reading, writing, arithmetic 3 R's, but I have 3 R's: revise, rejuvenate, and repair. And that's what I'm doing. And I always see January as a planning month. I mean, a lot of people think it's just hit the ground running, but by the time you get through the new year and Christmas and everything and all the other holidays, it's already like the 10th of the month, you know? So I try to see January as a planning month so I can calm down, regroup, and then hit the ground running in February. So we got a lot of things going on. So let me start by introducing my business, which is 4A Star. And again, we're going to revise some things this year, but we're an umbrella company over the entertainment industry. So we work with break-in models, indie authors, talent, indie singer-songwriters. And one of my main goals for 2020 is to get AVAS eye bags back on track, because there's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that people don't see. And we have a lot of manufacturing issues going on, and they're good. They're just different. People are moving different locations and that kind of stuff. So Ava's eye bags, as I choke on the microphone, Ava's eye bags are, there's 21 different styles. So we have about 6 of them ready yet. This is the Us and Them bag. And all of the bags have a gift inside worth between $20 and $50. And they all have a positive message on the outside and a positive message on the inside that was handwritten by myself. And then every bag gives back to a different charity. So there'll be 21 charities involved. And we have some great ones already on board with us. I Hope New York, which is the shaken baby syndrome. Oh, God, I just can't think of all of them. Of course, the one that's near and dear to my heart is the National Brain Tumor Society, which I have aligned with. And this is one of our other bags. This is the Wear bag. And I love the Wear bag because in the Wear collection, there are 18 different skylines. This one happens to be Philadelphia. We also have Atlantic City and Dallas, and we have some international, Dubai and France, and a couple of those. So I'm really excited about the Wear bags. But they're all who, what, when, where, why, us, them, I, and, all about empowerment and, having things being very positive. So I'm really excited about that. One of the things going in the bags are original paintings from one of our girls, Gemma Fassett, who's a big part of 4A Star and what we're doing with our office space. So there is one for you, and there is one for Diane, if you can pass that down. That is one of a kind. I'm sorry? Okay. Marco's going to take off for a few minutes because he's getting ready for his show after this, and he's going down to get his guests. So that's a beautiful thing. And can't leave Matt out here. Hang on. And Mom will have to regulate the candy, right? That's for you, sweetheart.
Thank you.
Just a little something, So that's Gemma. I'm going to give Gemma a big shout out. They're one of a kind, and she is a muralist, and she's commissioned to do a lot of work across the country. And she's just a wonderful gal, so we'll have to get her on the show one of these days. So that's
beautiful.
That's good. That goes in our small wristlet. It fits perfectly in the wristlet. So really excited about that. So that's a little bit about me. And of course, we have Ava's Casual Chat that's here every first Sunday of the month. Thank you to the Jerry Petito Show, to Hamilton Radio. Shout out to Jerry. She's a little under the weather. So girlfriend, get yourself better. We want you back here because she usually comes on the show with us. And I know Polixeni was on her show recently. So we're really excited to have you here. So ladies and gentlemen, Diane, tell us about your main business, what you do, and then we'll get into Matt's Heart Quest and stuff.
Okay. I am a independent financial advisor. I've been practicing for, actually it was 20 years of December of last year. And I am a heart-centered financial advisor, meaning that I really, truly do care about the well-being of my clients and consider them like a family, extension of my family. And I'm a comprehensive planner, so I look at everything with regard to their personal situation and what may impact them financially, and help guide them with some ways to either improve what they're already doing, make some slight adjustments, make some additions, maybe take some things away. And also a big part of what I do is, in that process, is a budgeting piece to help teach them to be more empowered about and aware of their spending and habits, and whether they're working towards their goals or taking them away from their goals, and helping them find a balance of both where they can I call myself the Hidden Dollar Diva because I do find hidden dollars, which I love. It's a fun game, and I think once you start, it gets exciting, and then you can redirect those funds to things that are of meaning to you. So I want people to know that they can have what they want today, but still plan for tomorrow. So that's an
cool.
important part of that's the biggest part of how I help people.
Do you think that sets you apart from some of the other, financial advisors out there, that you're doing something where they can find those hidden gems?
I think so. I've never heard anybody else doing it. I think that we all have our own way of perceiving it. But when everything happened in the first market crash, 2007 and 2008, I saw people going from having 2 solid incomes to 1 income or less than 1 income, and the devastation it caused. And I wanted to give back. At that time, it really triggered me, and I created a workshop, AVAS is a financial fulfillment, to help give them a step-by-step instruction on how they can go about repairing things themselves and start taking a healthier look at their spending, make sure revisit things when things get tough. So I think when things are hard and you have to work on less, if you find a way to maneuver through that, then when things rebound, as they always will, then they have a lot of really great habits that they've established as a result of a challenging time, and it brings them, it helps them in the long run far better than if they had never experienced that in the first place. So, not that a tragedy has to occur, but that was what stimulated my creation of that. So I'm basically all about giving and helping as much as I can. So I feel like it separates me because I am like I'm like a life coach.
Right. And that's used so freely anymore, right? Yeah.
Because I incorporate, those pieces I shared, as well as like just my spiritual thinking and thoughts and positive aspect on things, and trying to help empower them as much as I possibly can. So my tagline is inspiring women and children financially. So that's a big part.
I love
what I see are the women first. And
right.
The spouse and significant other, but that's really my bottom line. My call to action is basically inspiring women and children financially in any way it may encompass.
I like the Hidden Dollar Diva thing, because that's like, everyone has their own tagline, their own little niche, rather than just say, hey, I'm a life coach, or because that could be.
That caught my attention.
Right.
I'm like, oh, yeah, absolutely.
What?
I went,
Yay. Thank you, Ruben.
Maybe you can find some extra dollars here.
Right. Right.
Absolutely.
You never know.
Spending it anyway, right? So the challenge I pose to myself, my clients, and others is that, okay, where's your money going? How are you watching where it's going? And is it going to where you really want to go, or has it just become a habit and you haven't really thought about it, and now you have other goals and dreams that you want to accomplish financially, and that it's just a matter of repositioning, one pocket to another pocket. So maybe you are spending a little bit more in, going out to eat, but you have a really big dream of having a second home. Well, it's all about priorities. So the awareness has to come first of where it's going before then you can say, okay, this is what I'm already doing. What do I want to accomplish? And how can I maybe make adjustments with what I'm doing by still getting those things that bring me joy, but that can maybe be altered or maybe turned down a little bit. And that way you're getting a balance of doing what you love and then also building something for an important goal. So I think it's all about balance and awareness, honestly. Is
Everything's
key.
About balance, right? Oh, we can get into balance with your book, right?
That's a great segue.
And before we find out about what you do during the daytime, I want to give a shout out to Robert Williams, Pastora Nadia Reynoso, who's watching us today. Hey, guys, how are you? Robert, we're doing our birthday dinner or something this year. We have the same birthday. Robert's a music producer and good friend of mine. We never get to celebrate our birthdays together, so I'm hoping we're going to get to do that this year. So, Polixeni, I love your name. I'm fascinated with your name.
You say it very well.
Oh, thank you. I love it. Well, I had to, work on it a little bit, but I did that.
Thanks, Ava.
Tell us about and now I'm saying it right, that you're a physical therapist, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about that first.
All right. Well, I've been a physical therapist for 33 years, and I've been working in a lot of various environments, outpatient, home care, nursing homes, and recently started working with the Division of Developmental Disabilities.
Oh, that's interesting.
So, that's been very interesting. Yes,
Yeah,
it has.
sure.
And about maybe 10 years, I've been working on a book, and about
Is this the book that
this
took
is
10
the book.
years?
Well,
Wow.
it was definitely a 10 years ago thought.
Yeah, I got you.
But in the last year, it became an idea of a children's book.
So since we were talking about balance, tell us a little about the book.
So my book is Posture, Simply Posture, Correct Simply. And it is a children's book.
And I see it's in hardcover and
It is,
softcover.
and softcover, and it's also in digital.
Oh, cool.
You
great.
can get the
E-book,
digital version.
e-book?
E-book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
E-book, yeah. And so, Amazon, you type in Polixeni Katsaros, and the book shows up.
Great.
Or you can message me, and I can get you the book. But so I had a goal of writing this book, and I started by calling Simon & Schuster, and they set me up with an illustrator, and
I didn't know they did all that because we do some indie publishing. Though we work with an online publishing company. We're just the middle person, so we work with a manuscript, and I have our own in-house illustrator, in-house editor, and so we do everything that we do. You can do on your own. And some people don't want to do that. They don't know what to do when they get the books in their hands. So that's where we come in. But there's plenty of places out there where you can self-publish or go to Simon & Schuster or some of those places that are still around. I know that things are a lot different than they used to be in the book world, yet a lot of people can get their work out there. And it's a dedication thing. You have to really work on it to get it out there because it's not so easy anymore.
well, right. Following their prompts.
Come close to the mic so we can make sure we hear you.
Following their prompts. You see, it was a step-by-step thing, and as quickly as I got back to answering them, that's how quick the book. So it took 6
Yeah.
months.
Yeah.
And
Happens
you know,
like that
the,
sometimes.
the greatest message out there is that we have gravity that's always on us. It's this silent, invisible.
Could you imagine us without gravity?
Right.
we'd
Well,
be
we'd be in
everywhere.
space, right?
Right?
Right? Or underwater. Or in the water. And so I wanted the children, and I wanted everybody, their parents, their brothers, their sisters, their aunts, uncles, grandparents, to realize that gravity has this force on us, and that we need to really be aware and to use our muscles to go against this force so that we can have happy muscles and happy bones. And we don't have to be upright all the time. We can relax and slouch, and that would be okay, as long as we knew that it was important to correct throughout our day. And you see, then we don't pile up all the stresses from the slouching, because gravity is this force that never goes away.
Right, right.
And it builds on us. And then we have this signal saying, muscle saying, I'm in pain now. And it's, it gives us this ouch pain. And we're like, why? And then we go to a physical therapist. Well, actually, some of us go to a doctor first, right? And or go right to a physical therapist. And I teach about, correcting. And I've done it for so long that it needed to be in a book. It needed to be, as important it is to brush your teeth. I wanted the children to know, right?
Yep.
Well, you taught me that one exercise that I love. I do it almost every day.
Slouch.
The one, the one where you're standing up and you lean back.
Oh.
Yeah, remember
Absolutely.
yeah, we would, yeah. And
Yes, for
I love
every
it.
time you lean
I found out
forward,
the other day, and
you lean
what's the saying? If you don't use it, you lose it. And about using our muscles. I went for a 1/4-mile walk, and I was wearing shoes that were okay, but they weren't really sneakers. I just was in the car, and I felt like taking a walk, and I went around the track. And I walk every day, but I did forcefully walk that 1/4 mile at a good speed, and don't I didn't stretch like I should have, and I know better. I didn't stretch before or after. I'm thinking, I'm just going one time around the track, right? I pulled the calf muscle, and it's still not better today. So I'm trying to let it rest so that I can now stretch it properly, and it was my own fault because I knew better, but I got the walk in anyway. Hey, Marco, you want to come back in? I know he's out there watching.
So-
Give him a shout out. But if you want to come back in, now would be a good time.
Really good, really good.
I think that's a great foundation. Like, certain things that you want to teach children, right? And posture is huge. So you're right. The accumulation over years and years and years and decades of just bad posture, especially with the technical world now, where everybody's sitting at a desk a lot of times, I think that is going to help reverse, and it's going to save tons in care from physicians and any other medical practitioner, because it also affects your lung capacity,
It
all
really
those different
does.
things. It really compresses everything. So
breathing,
I
exactly.
think it's an
Breathing, yeah.
amazing, amazing message to give to children. And
Yeah.
by teaching
really
and
is.
reading it to a child, the parents are vicariously going to be getting
Right.
that
That
in
was
their
why.
implant in their own brain, and when they see the child doing it, they'll do it, or vice versa. You'll be teaching far more than the children with that process.
Right. It'd be great when the children get it, and then they say, "Mom, Dad, you're slouching."
Exactly. Right. That's a beautiful thing.
That would be great, right?
That's great. How do you find that the kids are reacting to the book?
Excited.
Yeah,
They-
the cover is great. I love that.
Thank you.
I love that. So, and how can people find you? I mean, you mentioned Amazon, but if they wanted to contact you directly, how would they find you?
Well, my Facebook page is Polixeni Katsaros. So I'm on Messenger.
And if you can't spell it, just go to mine and pull her up under friends.
Yeah, Polixeni. It's very phonetic. Polixeni, Polixeni. Katsaros, Katsaros.
I like the way it rolls off your tongue because it took me a little while, but I got fascinated with her
It's
name.
a beautiful
I
name.
love
It's
her
a
name.
beautiful name.
Love
Thank
it.
you.
I wouldn't be able to pronounce that.
You would with
Try.
practice. You would. You just have to
Practice,
practice.
I
You
would.
can. Ready? Polixeni.
Polixeni.
You got
Yeah,
it.
yeah, see, and you even get better the more you say it, right?
I doubted myself about that time, but I was wrong.
Mr. Pantin, you coming back in or what? All right. If you want to come, just come back in. It's no problem. All right. So, Diane, let's talk about some of your books here. So I have two in front of me. Are they both compilations?
They are. Yes.
So tell us a little bit about this. Was this the first one? Or
The
second?
first one was actually,
This one.
yes, Women Living Consciously. And I believe there was 30 different authors. So each of us had a chapter that we contributed to the book about our own personal story of overcoming. They're all very uplifting, positive. I mean, I read the book on the way to a eWomen
I was going to say,
event.
this was an eWomen project, or no?
That was actually Powerful You, but I
Okay.
read it on the way to another event. when I was in
Powerful
the
You's the
airplane.
one where Sean was in, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So, yes, that's kind of how I got introduced to it. So it was a very wonderful experience, and it was just my first way of kind of getting my toes wet in the whole author pool, because I found I started really becoming a lot more interested in writing, poetry, the books. So it was a great way for me to kind of get some exposure and to learn the process a little bit, which I think was a great experience. So that is all, it's like different chapters are overcoming. Everything has a positive message to it. Whether it's a very challenging situation, that's pretty much what the message is. So it was a very, very uplifting, wonderful, entertaining book. Real stories, real people.
Well, I like the title, Women Living
Consciously.
Consciously.
Yes, I love it.
Our brain, I mean, I don't want to go off on too big of a tangent, but we need to really understand that anything we say triggers different chemicals releases in our brain.
Yep.
And
True.
so this is a wonderful way to help people, I guess, be more positive or have more success in their life.
Right.
Right. And well, my title of mine was Get Comfortable with Being Uncomfortable. That's where the magic happens.
Oh, that's true.
And I
That's
think
so true.
that is what I was actually coming off of a real significant life change, life experience, that I realized that the bottom line for me was change was always a challenge for me. I always kind of resisted it, and I finally accepted the fact that change is the only thing that's going to be constant, and that when you walk into your fear, take a step into your fear, is when the most amazing, unexpected things are going to unfold that you could have never possibly orchestrated yourself, and that you are protected, and that everything is going to be fine, whether it comes out the way you think it's going to, or if it doesn't. It comes out something totally different. It's probably hugely better than what you could have imagined. And that was really the message of that part. So that was more the personal sharing. The Keys to Conscious Business Growth
That's this one.
is a teaching tool more for on like a business perspective. So that was really great because it's a wonderful. The women's book could be for anybody, mother, daughter, sister, friend, who just wants to have inspiration of stories if they're going through a challenging time or whatever. The business group, Keys to Conscious Business Growth, is really wonderful for anybody, whether you are an employee or if you are an entrepreneur, self-employed. It gives you wonderful tips on different things that would touch your life, whether you were, either of those, positions with the company. So it just helps you interact. There's also a conscious level as well, too. So it's got that common key of being aware, some heart-centered, essence to it, a softer, way to approach certain things that maybe you haven't really thought of before because it takes into consideration the whole conscious feature of it. I use that one to share about my, finding hidden dollars, which I think is a fun game that we all could benefit from. So it gave me a way to teach on the practical side of my everyday exposure to people and how I help them. And it gave a little bit of insight into how they can begin to take a few steps that they can start to be more empowered about their
Right.
money, because I feel like women are oftentimes not included in that conversation or don't feel qualified or don't feel comfortable. So my goal is to help make them feel more empowered and feel comfortable and confident about their participation in their own financial future.
Are the proceeds from the books aligning to Matt's Heart Quest, or is
Yes.
is that part of it too?
Yes.
So
Yeah,
let's
it
get
is.
into that a little
Okay.
bit. So tell me
anything
how
that we do with anything
That and your
creative.
poetry, right?
Poetry. I have 6 poems that have already been
Yeah.
customized
these were
on
made into the
bookmarks.
bookmarks, right?
Right.
And we have the bookmarks going in Ava's eye bags, so I'm really excited about that.
And
So-
I did help out with the idea of what would the poems be about a little bit. I helped
Cool.
with that some.
Cool.
Well, he was actually he was my inspiration for even starting Matt's Heart.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that. How did that come about?
So basically, being a mom at 44 for the first time.
Congratulations.
And thank you. And
That's
it was a
great.
perfect pregnancy. It was the most amazing experience. And I will say that I have never felt such love and joy from anything else in my life than I was with becoming a mom. And as he was growing up, I started going through some, personal things that were coming out in poetry that I really didn't have experienced that before. So with that, I had these beautiful poems, and each of them were from a life experience that was going on. A couple were about Matthew. One, on his 5th birthday, I had to leave to go to Texas, and I was going to miss his birthday. And I was just beside myself trying to figure out how to this poor little boy. I didn't want to leave him, and it was very torn.
Yeah, so
So
when she came back home, she brought something with her for a late.
what did I bring you home?
It was a plushie. Stuffed
Yes,
animal.
and I also I
And-
wrote 2 poems
Yeah,
too,
2
right?
poems you wrote.
It was
And-
Goodbye, My Darling, and Hello, My Angel, because I was so heartbroken because he was so upset and hurt that I was leaving that when he went to say goodbye, he turned his head away when I went to give him a kiss, and on the flight over, seriously, I was in mommy meltdown big time. On the flight there, I literally wrote the 2 poems. I was like a woman obsessed. I had to get these feelings out on paper. So when I came back, I read it to him as part of his birthday gift, and it was just to me very powerful. I have shared them on different levels, publicly in groups and stuff, and have gotten feedback that they were just positive, empowering, and inspiring. But the reason why I did that was, okay, now I have these poems. What can I do to actually make a difference? So that's when I thought, you know what, I want to teach Matthew, because of course of my practice.
Yeah, your
Finding
everyday.
finances being
Yeah,
very important, and part of a teaching tool for women and children. So I'm thinking maybe we can do something that can empower Matthew. It's not about me. I might be the conduit to creating it,
Yeah,
but
like,
it's not my
like-
focus. It's a focus on him to show him that no matter how young you are, you can have a big impact on this world by having a
course.
attitude of giving and being grateful for the things that you have.
And
Thank you, Ruben.
being grateful with things that like you don't want anymore, passing it on to other people who need it more than you. And that has helped me out because I had like a whole bunch of stuff I didn't want anymore, and like some kids came because we were having like a yard sale before, and like this one kid wanted it. It was like I had like something for like $5. It was, I don't remember what it was, like something. And I just the kid didn't even have to pay for it. I just gave it to him.
Well, that's something that comes from your heart, you know.
Yeah.
So Matt's Heart Quest
Matt's
was
Heart
born.
Quest, yeah, so it was born because I wanted to teach him how to pay it forward and show that he has an impact no matter how old you are. And I wanted to teach other children that they can do the same. So this became a legacy of love, meaning our goal, our mission is to donate over $1 million in his name over his lifetime, and then have him teach his children, and so on, and creating a legacy of love and giving. And what we do is the tools that we utilize currently are the books and
the
the
poems.
poems. So part of the proceeds of everything that go in there go towards finding a way that we can help others, which Matthew is directing. So he's like, okay, I'd like to help children. I want to maybe create water supply for a third world
help
country,
water
small
supply for,
town,
like,
or
people
schools or something.
that don't have like a lot of like water, like to have like easy to get to.
That's something we take for granted is clean water, you know. And our water's not so great, but it's much better than in some other countries where they can't even drink the water.
Well, we watched recently a show about difficulties that children go through in different countries to even get to school each day, and the hours and hours and the treacherous things that they go through just kind of led me to have a conversation with Matthew saying, no, this is something else we can do through Matt's Heart Quest is, pay for a well that will supply water to hundreds of people, help get them school supplies, maybe help get them materials that they need to build safer homes or homes closer to where the schools is, because there's one school like miles and miles away.
Yeah, and
so it
like
just
it's-
kind of helped expand my thinking of how we could
There's I know there's
that.
at least one company out there that does the clean water and wells and stuff, so that's something to look into. I don't know the name of them, but there's one, and there's also that For Ocean group that's doing the
Yes.
water
Yeah.
cleanup, so that's kind of
For
cool.
Ocean, and like another, it's a YouTuber that is helping Team Trees to help save the trees because people are cutting them down, and he has like a join that he put up to $15, so the money would go to help buying seeds for
Or planting new trees.
New trees, yeah.
That's cool.
There's lots of places. So I really want to empower Matthew by as we're accumulating funds to do these things, we sit down and we just say, okay, who would we like to help with at this particular time? What kind of areas are we want to focus on? Another thing near and dear is also, DV survivors, children, children, and how we can help support them. That's an important part too.
I know it's
So-
you haven't officially launched Matt's Heart Quest yet,
No,
but
not officially, but I
I
think
know
for the book
you got to
launches-
keep that goal chart, the
Yeah.
goal thing, so that you
Yeah.
can see how you're doing financially and making that $1 million goal. So
Yeah.
that's kind of a cool project, don't you think?
And two
So
things
we're adding
I
more poems and stuff,
learned-
and we're going to be building books and stuff. So
And two things I've learned from this is to pass it on, other things that other people need more than me, and the impact of one.
The impact of one, yeah, that's kind of cool. You could search that up, and that's kind of an interesting.
And that's even on our card,
philosophy.
too, on the back.
Cool. I love it. So you must be very proud of him. He's so well spoken for his age. It's,
How old
it's
are
great.
you?
I'm I'm 11. My birthday's next week on the 9th.
Ooh, my birthday's at the
Turning
end of the
12.
month. We got a lot of January babies here.
Happy birthday early.
When's your birthday, Polixeni?
Mine's in September.
Ends up my daughter's in
26th.
September. Marco's in June. When
I'm
are you?
October.
October. Oh, little run of the gamut here.
Yeah, it's got the fall winter babies.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So we're all authors here. So this is my book. You can always find a flush in there. And my mom had really encouraged me to write this book because when I used to have a DJ business, so I was on the road all the time, and there were always crazy things that happen in the public restrooms. To this day, I can't tell you that when I go in a restroom, I always have to remember to take my phone because you never know what you're going to find in the restroom to take a picture of. Yet, so many crazy things happen in the public restrooms. And so we wrote little short stories on them, and then we related them to different areas of your business, like how do you relate that to starting a business? So like each story has a theme, and then that theme relates to something that is in the business world. So it's not just a book where you can just read it and laugh, but you can read it and learn a little something too. So it's kind of fun. So it's nice to be in the author realm. How do you like being an author and, having this book be your baby,
I'm loving it. I
Yeah.
really am. I'm so excited.
I know you were at
Yeah.
the menorah and tree lighting we did at Friendly's, and you had a bunch of
yeah.
books out there with the table.
Jerry
and it was
Petito.
Jerry's amazing.
Jerry
I love
Petito
Jerry
made
Petito.
it possible for me to have my first public book signing.
Awesome.
That's so awesome.
And I had
That
my
is
first
really
public book
wonderful.
signing at the Friendly's in Robbinsville. And after that, I decided that I was going to do one a month.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to shout out to Lee from Friendly's because they do so much there, and I think
Yeah.
Jerry's a big part of that. They do so much at the Friendly's here in Robbinsville, all kinds of different things. We had the veterans there a couple of months ago,
That's
did
really
some
kind of
stuff for
them.
them, did a fundraiser, and all kinds of entertainment comes in. Jerry brings in Mike Diamore, D-Train, all kinds of great
That's
people that come in and do stuff, and the magicians and everything. So it's so much fun when there's an event going on there. But Jerry has a T-shirt that I absolutely love. I don't know if it was just, I'm sure it was just made for her, but, there were a couple people wearing it, so she probably had a few made. But it says, that whole quote, keep calm, so it's keep calm and let Jerry Petito handle it. So now she's under the weather, so she's not handling nothing right now. So get well, girlfriend.
She's
and
actually handling herself.
Yes, well,
And
that's
that
true.
is the key.
Yeah,
So
and without your health,
go for it.
Without
Go
your
for it,
health,
Jerry.
you can't
Yeah.
you can't cross through any of the obstacles or anything without your
That's
health.
right.
So
And as a healthcare provider, we must take care of ourselves before we can help anybody.
So, Polixeni, other than the slouch and straighten, what is there something for people that sit at desks and work all day? Is there any kind of thing they can do other
Well,
than that, or is that the only?
Absolutely. Sitting down is a great place to start working on your core. And see, if you're sitting, you must begin by sitting on your ischial bones, which, what are they, right? It's like, okay, not the base of your spine, but the bones that are directly on the either side of them. So that means you have to really push your butt back as far as you can, and you're off your spine. And then you engage your abdominal muscle, and that is an exercise. Then you release the abdominal muscle. Then you engage it.
Yeah, singers do that too, and
then you release
to
it.
learn how to breathe, they do the
And-
same kind of exercise.
And the engaging of the abdominal muscle, as you inhale and exhale, you're still engaging that muscle. So it is separate from breathing. It's a muscle that is
Gotcha.
engaged separate from breathing. However, people who don't know how to engage the abdominal muscle tend to hold their breath. So what we need to do is practice, and what I'd say to people is engage abdominal muscle, pull up on that pubic bone, because that's where it's attached, as you exhale. Exhale, pull up, and then keep breathing.
I had a vocal coach that taught me to exhale on the effort. And
Yes.
a lot of people don't do that. And in fact, he wound up leaving the job he was at because they didn't like the way that he taught. And I went and left with him and stayed with him because I loved him. And
He made sense.
Yeah, he made
perhaps,
sense. And it was great. So whenever I'm doing any kind of workout, I'm always exhaling on the effort.
Well, yeah.
And, it's
You
a
ever
little
try
kind
to
of
open
backwards.
a stuck window?
Oh, that.
And what do you? People tend to hold
Yeah.
their breath so you have to push.
Yeah, I never. Yeah, like I never hold my breath whenever there's like a stuck window because I just like force it. I just keep on breathing. I just like force it up.
Yes.
That's good thinking.
But-
The thing about trying to do a sit-up and breathing in at the same time, it's actually not really possible to do that and
No, it is
continue to
possible.
do that.
Better to
I mean,
exhale on
It
the
is
effort.
po-
It's
it
was
is
what we did
possible.
a lot of sit-ups
it is,
before
but it's not
warm-ups.
going to be comfortable.
I mean, I do that all the time when I'm.
Well, then I guess I got to teach you how to do a sit-up properly.
So, Diane, how can somebody reach you to get a hold of poetry, books, whatever?
Our website is currently being updated, but
Okay.
it's mattharquest.com.
Singular, Matt's.
Yep, I'm sorry, pardon. mattsharquest.com. Also, Diane'sInspiredThings.com links to it as well.
Great.
Because that's how it started with that before we actually changed the name.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'm on Facebook. You can message me, and I'm happy to correspond with you and facilitate getting you copies of books, poems. We are looking for supporters, sponsors, partners to see how we can,
Get out
get
the word.
more,
Mm-hmm.
get
The word
more,
out
get
and,
more
like-
exposure.
And are you guys either on Instagram? Because I know that's like the younger generation is a little more on Instagram. But if you want to reach out to them and you're an Instagram person, just find me at Ava's Eye Bags, and it's bags with a Z, and I can hook you up with either one of these.
Perfect.
lovely
I am
ladies. And
actually, I
Matt.
have Instagram, but I'm not really very active. I think that
Yeah,
will
I'm not
probably
as active on it,
change.
but I'm on it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
I think I
have
can-
Instagram, but like I was gonna like go on it and set up like an account for me.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm
I
thinking maybe
have
we'll
it.
set one up so that way we can both be
Yeah.
For Matt's Heart
Yeah,
Quest,
for
yeah.
Matt's Heart
Yeah, for
Quest
Matt's
and
Heart
get that going.
I think you can only have one because we tried to set up one for the office space, and then it was kind of like you couldn't get into it right.
Oh,
and
really?
I
Okay.
said, you know what, we're just going to let that one
So
go. but-
Diane, how do I find you on Facebook?
It's Diane Metivier,
Spell that for everybody. So-
Metivier. Also, I have a page for my practice, which is Inspiring Women Financially.
Awesome. And again, you can find me at 4astar.com. It's the number 4astar.com. Also on Facebook, 4astar, Ava's Eye Bags, bags with a Z. And you can connect to anybody that we have on our show.
We
So-
also have a Facebook page for Matt's Heart Quest. It's mattsheartquest.com. I mean, beg your
Well,
pardon,
Matt's Heart
Facebook,
Quest
Matt's Heart
would-
Quest,
would
yeah.
just be on
So there's
Facebook
3
as
different
Matt's Heart
ways you
Quest.
can reach.
We got a bunch of people watching in, so
Yay.
get to everybody. Gary Johnson and Jonathan Oliva, Liza Ireland. Hey, Liza. Andre Murphy, Mark Hills, Rhoda Kushner. And of course, we got Ruben out there monitoring everything. So we're coming down to the close. So is there anything else you would like to add about your book or anything you got going on right
Well,
now?
Actually, yeah, I'd like to, say that on Tuesdays, every other Tuesday, actually starting this Tuesday, I'm hosting my own show.
Here at Hamilton Radio,
Here at
right?
Hamilton
Yay!
Radio,
Awesome.
yes, and my
Awesome.
own show. It's
Congratulations.
called Body, Mind, and Soul.
Awesome. I love that.
Body, mind, and
what
soul.
time
That
is your
really
show?
inspiring.
It's going to be from 5 to 6.
5 to 6. Great. So we'll have to tune in. That's great. Every
yeah, this
Tuesday.
week-
Every Tuesday.
It's every other because
Every other Tuesday.
I go every other. 'cause
Oh, and
Jerry
Jerry's gonna be the
Petito
other. Right,
Is
right.
on the other Tuesday.
Did you want to talk about inner size a little bit before we close? Or
Well, I'll tell you this book, just because you brought it up, it's a book called Inner Size, and I've been reading it. This is like my second time around, and
Looks great.
It is a terrific book. It's by John Assaraf.
oh, I know who
and-
that is.
Yeah, love him.
Yes.
Love
I
him.
know
I love
who
him.
it is.
Yeah.
He was the one that they told
I
him that he
recommend
would
this
never
book.
he would never amount to anything. That's what they told him because he
Oh.
had a little learning disability growing up.
See?
Mm-hmm.
See? And this gentleman searched and searched and searched, and he interviewed many scientists, neurologists out there, and he compiled this book to explain to us who have brains, all of us, that if we knew how to use our brain, we would accomplish our goals in a nanosecond
Yeah.
because we'll know.
Our
We'll
brains are
know.
fascinating. I know that.
They are, and it's a myth that we only use 10% of our brain. I mean, that's a myth, and he talks about that.
I think we only know how to use 10% of our brain now.
Right. Well, it's like there's one inner size, and I'll just share that real quick that I use all the time. It's A-I-A. A is for awareness, I is for intention, and the other A is for action.
Oh, I like that.
So that is how, that's an inner size.
Yeah, that's
So,
great. I
like,
love it.
Yeah. So like Jack LaLanne, he revolutionized exercise. John Asseroff is revolutionizing inner size.
Ooh, I love it.
That's awesome.
So that's cool things to
get that
look at
book.
for 2020, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
I like it. It
absolutely.
looks great. It looks great.
Thank
And
you, Ava.
once again, how do people find you?
Well, I'm on Facebook,
Okay.
Polixeni Katsaros.
Great. Love it.
And you can always message me. And that's about all right now. That's
Great.
how,
Okay.
people can
Awesome. We're
find me.
so excited that you guys were here today. Diane, again, how can people find you and Matt?
Matt's Heartquest on Facebook, also Inspiring Women Financially, and Diane Metivier.
Great. And I'm Ava Holly. You can find me under Ava Holly, Ava's Eye Bags, 4A star, the number 4. We are so excited. We're going to take a quick break and then get back into Mr. Pantin Productions, Teens with Dreams. And it's nice because even though we share a lot of guests, we all have different audiences. So it's great when we can bring guests on different shows. So I believe Matthew is going to be a guest on Marco's show today. So we're going to sign off in a couple of minutes and get ready to come back with Teens with Dreams. And thank you for tuning in. Again, we are here every first Sunday of the month at 1 p.m. This is Ava's Casual Chat. I'm Ava Holly. Have a wonderful start to your new year, and we will be back in a few with Teens with Dreams. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ava.
Ruben, you good out there? Ruben.
How do we know? Are we off?
No, we're not off.
Oh, well, hello.
I don't know where Ruben is. We will be off in a minute. Let me go find him.
It's great.
Basically,
You
we're
want me to
off.
go find him? Ava,
Now-
you want me to go find him and you stay here?
Sure.
Oh, it's a good helper. I definitely want to have your contact info. I definitely want to reach out to you and connect. 'Cause
I don't hear well, so that's not it, right?
oh, it's okay. Matt's Heartquest, like a quest, .com. And if you go through Diane's Inspired Things, I'm kind of updating this website right now.